Hello, this is F14 Media back again with another video. Today we're going to talk about how I personally have my Canon 5D Mark III set up for general shooting, specifically for weddings. Now, from the first shooting menu, as you can see, the image quality set to RAW. Release shutter without card is switched off. I don't want the camera to take photos without a card inside. I also set the beep to disable, as I do not want the beep to be heard in church. Moving across to the second shooting menu, ISO speed settings. Now, when I'm using auto ISO, I set a range of between 100 and 6400. The Canon 5D Mark III is great in low light, and I find that using a range between 100 and 6400 ISO is adequate. And I also set a minimum shutter speed. At the moment this is set for 1/250th of a second. What that means is that when I'm using my 70 to 200mm lens in AV mode, the shutter will not go below 1/250th of a second when auto ISO is selected. Moving to the third shooting menu, my picture style is always set to neutral. In high ISO noise reduction, I have this set to standard. It does help with reducing noise in high ISO images. In the autofocus menu, in the fourth section, you'll see orientation linked AF point. Now, I do have this set to separate AF points. Basically what that means is that when I'm in portrait orientation, it memorises my last focus point used. So when I turn back into landscape, it will again memorise the landscape autofocus point used. This is ideal because when I then turn to portrait again, the camera remembers the last focus point used, which will be one of the top focus points in the portrait orientation, and just saves you having to keep changing focus points when you're selecting between portrait and landscape orientation. I have my camera set to record to multiple cards. I use a CF and I also use a SD card. Both are set to record RAW. Now, in the setup menu under custom controls, I have changed the depth of field preview button to shoot in one shot AI servo. Now, basically what that means is that when I press the depth of field preview button, the camera will switch into AI servo mode. Now, this is ideal in the church when you're shooting images of the bride when she's walking down the aisle, without having to set the camera to AI servo to enable you to take shots of a moving subject. Press that button, hold it in, and while you're holding that button in, the camera will stay on AI servo, allowing you to constantly focus on a moving subject. When the bride's finished walking down the aisle, release your finger from the button and you're then back into one shot mode. Now, just before I finish, I'd like to say that I normally shoot in aperture priority mode, AV mode. As you can see, my ISO is normally set to automatic. This is for inside the church. I normally shoot on a one shot mode. I have evaluative metering, and I also have a silent burst mode for my shutter.